Alertwolf. I'm here for another anime review, and this time it is of Blast of Tempest, episode 21. This one's called Femme Fatale, Woman of Fate. Now, before I get into that real fast, gotta give you the news of the day. So, Sony Music has decided to fuck with me too, just like they do everybody else. On one of my old Blast of Tempest reviews, they flagged it for having inappropriate content. But the video is just me sitting in this chair, like I always do. So that's false. That's a lie. Sony, shame on you. Sony Music of Japan there. And Aniplex, you guys should learn better from your mistakes, because you're slowly eroding all the goodwill your shows give you. But whatever. But because of that, now I'm under restrictions. I'm fighting it. All of this due to a thumbnail. Now, the thumbnail itself is a scene, is completely legal under fair use, and YouTube knows this, but they allow the persecution to go on because Sony's a big name. So let me do what King and Lightning does. Sony, you don't own this right here. You own nothing in this video. Everything in this video is original content, because Sony, you don't own me. Sony, the music is my original music. You don't own it. It has nothing to do with you. The thumbnail in use is also an original piece of artwork, because it is not the thing that started. It is actually taken from a screenshot from my computer where I altered the image to make it my own custom piece of artwork. It is not an image of Blast of Tempest, but rather of my computer in an artistic way. And even with that argument, I've always give Blast of Tempest credit for the inspiration of this video. At the end of every video, I always give a special thanks to the show, anime, whatever it is that inspired the video. So you've always had credits on my video. But of course, you didn't watch my video, that's why you pulled it. Now, because of this, my time is short. I only get 15 minutes. Not that these videos are ever that long, but it has caused problems with another video I was doing. So until further notice, until this is resolved, hopefully in 2 weeks, not 6 months, the few series anime that I was supposed to do, which is the second half of the Inuyasha box set for the final cut, Inuyasha's final cut box set part 2, I'm not doing until I get the strike removed, as well as the Black Blood Brothers. I'm saving that. Now, I am doing a new show, and that'll be up there. It's not an anime. It's going to be completely out of the blue, but check it out anyway. But that being said, let's jump right into this episode. I think the episode is very easy to explain. Well, actually, we get a bunch of story in this episode, which is good because the whole thing is wrapping up. A bunch of story. A bunch of important information, I would say, about what's really going on. We find out who Ayaka's killer is. And we get the Battle of the Princesses. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Now, apparently, since she's been gone, that's a horrible Kelly Clarkson song, but whatever. Since she's been gone, the true form of the Tree of Genesis, the core of Genesis, has appeared in the future. Or the present, whatever. So the princesses decide to talk. They talk it out. They move from the rooftop to talk it out, and it turns out the explanation of everything happens. And actually, Evangeline was right, and we get a dual past and present. Evangeline and the Princess of Gensis explaining things. Basically, that tree judges the world, and it destroys the world unless you can defeat the tree. Now, because of the Tree of Genesis, people invented the Tree of Exodus to counter the Tree of Genesis. The idea is to use Exodus to kill Genesis. You get where I'm going? So, the Kasarabi clan and everything else, and the princess and all of that, are one big lie. They were lied to try to make the Tree of Genesis not look guilty and evil. even their magic was restricted with sacrifice, and placed only defensively. This is why Ayeka's magic can be offensive, meaning the swords, and she doesn't have to do first to use her powers. She doesn't need to do any sacrifice, and she can transmute. So that's crazy. So they explain, and it's further on a further explanation of her power, which comes in the middle. But the more magic she uses, we're talking about the princess. The tree of Genesis feeds off the magic from the tree. The tree of Exodus feeds off the tree of Genesis symbiotically. So there you go. And then she also explains that. So that's why the princess under a fully developed made Exodus can never beat her, because her powers were designed to be inferior to that. Now we get further in. She goes, if the Kaiseragi plan was ever serious about reviving the tree, I was supposed to tell you guys the truth and then stop the tree. But it gets another explanation is, she goes, well, why is what's his face have his powers not as developed as yours? She goes, normally we get tapped when the other one dies, so we keep passing it on. But since I died so abruptly, and normally we're prepared for this, the next person that got tapped must have gotten tapped in a rush way, so he hasn't fully awakened to his power yet. I am fine with all of these explanations. So the princesses also talk about who's Ayeka's killer. And Ayeka, being the detective that she is, she starts putting all the pieces together, because technically she's the strongest being on the planet, because the second strongest being can't hold a candle to her. So then we get to the who killed her, who could possibly kill her, and escape, and all the things that the web of Genesis, can't find a killer, and all of this. And she goes, I got it. The person who killed me is me. I killed myself and made it look like all this. It makes sense. I have to have killed myself. Now, guys, if you've been paying attention to my reviews all this time, you know I've always said she's the princess. I was confirmed. I always said somehow she had knowledge of future events and planned this whole thing for a happy ending. And to save the princess, to stop the trees, all of this for a happy ending. And I was 100% right. She did plan it. Why did she plan it? Because the princess time traveled back and told her about it. So from then on, she understood what happened, therefore had to cause her own death to cause things to get emotion, and she explains that to the princess. And I said this, that she had some sort of magic. Even before I knew she was the mage even before they mentioned the mage, I said she must have had some sort of magical power. I knew it. Everything that has happened is not a shock to me, and it is not a shock to you guys, but it's awesome to see I was right. And so then she goes, explain it to Yoshino and explain it to Mihiro and all that. But then Hagase starts getting angry, because she's like, this makes no sense. Because of me, you're killing yourself. She's like, no, because of me, I'm killing myself. This is all my decision, free will. And she's like, no, but if I had time traveled back to see if you were the killer, he's a paradox. And she goes, yeah, but you're outside the logic of the world when you time travel. So she's like, what? And flashbacks of how disjointed and crazy reality's getting. And she goes, oh well. And then the girls start arguing over this, and she goes, Yoshino cried over you, and that pisses off Ayeka. Ayeka's like, you made Yoshino cry. She knew it right away that Yoshino wouldn't cry in front of other people. And she's like, why would you push him that far? Because he needed to do it, Because, again, both girls in love with the same dude. So the princess literally is so mad at her. She's like, I'll kill you myself. I'm going to stop you from killing yourself. So the two fight. This is where that explanation of magic comes into play. And Princess gets housed. For the first time in her life, she gets housed. The most powerful magical being, not so much compared to a true mage of Exodus. She gets housed. Ayeka houses her. And explains why she housed her. Finally, to show you how freaking boss, how insanely beast Aika is. She depowered her weapons and just created an aura around herself. Meanwhile, Hagase is in full battle mode. She dove in, ripped open the barrier, tackled her, and shocked her until she was unconscious. And then bounced to go kill herself. Now, that's fucking amazing, incredible, crazy fight. That's how powerful she is. And this is before the Tree of Exodus even was beginning to awake. So then, Hagase wakes up. She figures she still has time to save Aika. She runs to the house just after she killed herself. Aika left her a note and figured since nobody found that it was supposed to be for the princess. And the note said, you know, don't blame yourself, blah, blah, blah. Read this letter to Yoshino and after you and Mihiro after you guys are done, and, you know, don't worry. Basically, things are going to work out. And so Hagase, and make sure you have, there's no evidence of your presence there. So as she's leaving, she's in the crowd. She's after the police get there, she looks up. You see Mihiro in the window looking dead. And then as she's walking away, well, actually, the first thing she does is leave the mansion, and then she goes to the grave and starts crying. Right? She's so distraught and depressed, and just the wind knocked out of her. You know what I mean? And then she sees Mihiro on the thing. And then as she's walking away at the very end of the episode, she sees Yoshino running to the house with the look of dread on his face. Like, obviously, the love of his life just died. Or his first love. So she sees that, and that re-inspires her. Powers up her rage so that, you know, Aika's sacrifice won't be in vain. And that is the episode. And the next episode is called, episode 22 is called Futa Aika, so it's basically her name. And I guess it's a description of more of what happened to her. Now, the series is wrapping up, and then is wrapping up nicely. I'm sure the final battle with Exodus and Genesis needs to occur. And what's his face is getting really good with the power, but you could see compared to Aika, he doesn't hold a candle to her, even though he's getting stronger by the day. So, and there you go. That's the episode. Now, what do I think of this episode? Amazing fights, amazing supposition, amazing story. We see how truly powerful, what type of person. We get more into the character in this one episode of Aika than in every other episode. We finally get that full picture of her. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. This is as good as it gets for the show. Now, I'm not saying that like in a negative way. It just is. And wow, this was an incredible episode. I loved it. Can't wait for it to just keep going and finish. Now, again, to you, Sony, dudes, your show is almost done. You have a few episodes left. Please stop being dicks. And alright, guys. So, this is alertwolf telling you to click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and please, please, please subscribe if you can. And this is your buddy alertwolf signing off. Because of the business of Sony, I feel I was targeted because I personally support a petition that's been going around by Henshin Ikeda. Now, I mentioned this on a few videos back, and I still support it. It's a petition to have the rules changed here at YouTube to stop the bullshit over thumbnails. It's unfair. It's persecution. It's completely illegal. As far as using that material, it's been deemed many, many times. The courts have said it's fair use. So, you could do everything right and still be penalized by the bully system. Basically, the way YouTube works now, it's very un-American. You're guilty until proven innocent, and if you try to prove yourself innocent, you're open up to a lawsuit. Well, because of this, check my annotations below. It's going to be in every video I produce from now until the job is done. For Henshin Ikeda's petition. So please support it. Get it done. This is on you, YouTube community. anime community to get this rectified. All right, this is me out for real this time.